Okay, so we had a cancellation about 20 minutes ago for a house that we had scheduled for today. So I grab my phone and I start looking at all of the pending jobs because I don't really want to mess with the schedule because that tends to have a ripple effect. So I started texting a few of the quotes that we had pending. They had been approved, but they hadn't been scheduled. So the first customer to respond said that he was good to go to discuss the job. And I'm thinking to myself, discuss the job? It's 7:15. I've only had a few sips of coffee, driving my daughter to school, listening to some depressing ass Taylor Swift heartbreak music. And honestly, I didn't want to talk to somebody this early about a $500 pressure washing job. So I'm going to read you guys through the initial text messages between this guy and myself. Probably going to have to give him a call based on the first two messages that weren't necessarily going to be red flags for like 90% of the people that are watching me right now. But for me, they were red flags. So I'm going to record that. If I do call them, I'll let you guys listen in and we'll see how all of this plays out. So like I said, I hit him with a text telling him that we could get out here today. We could do the house, we could do the patio, and we would do it for $500. And he replied back, "Hey Mike, I'm interested. I'm free to discuss the service." And like I said previously, not a huge fan of talking to people, especially this early in the morning, because it's a simple house wash, not a big deal, not high dollar. We do dozens of these every single week, and the price is not open for negotiation. So I didn't really see why we even needed to talk, right? And if anything, it just goes up, the price does, whenever there are discussions to be had. So I respond with this. "Okay, great. If you've got any questions, just let me know. But it's a very simple process. Low pressure cleaning, entire house from the roof line down, and the patio cost $500. The invoice is sent via email once the work is completed, and you can pay online." So this is pretty much any question that somebody could ask, right? Okay, we're going to do the house. We're going to do the patio. Here is the price. This is how you're going to get invoiced. This is how you're going to pay. Pretty simple, right? Then I see the text bubbles going off, right? And they keep going, which means this is a talker, and I don't like talkers, which, again, in my opinion, is always a sign of trouble. And real quick, I wanted to tell you about two things. We do have my winter workshop coming up. This thing is under $50. It's a live workshop where I dive deep into the things that I do during the winter to keep our business strong, thriving, and profitable. I share a bunch of tips, tricks, and strategies that I've implemented that I guarantee are going to relieve stress out of your life so you don't have to worry about the slower months and not making any money. Check that out down below. And then also, we are doing the one-on-one coaching. We do have a class that is coming up. There are limited seats available. So fill out the form and we'll see if it's a good fit. And so then this is what popped up next. I'm not familiar with low pressure cleaning. We have dirty/grime that I would expect a typical pressure washer to handle. I assume this doesn't include the driveway or patio floor surfaces. Well, I've already established that it's a patio, so maybe this guy doesn't read, maybe he glanced over it, whatever the case is. So immediately this it pisses me off, right? Like, this guy was doubting I knew what I was doing, and his familiarity with a low pressure cleaning doesn't mean that it's not the right way to do things, or the way that we do it at least. And I am personally not entirely familiar with rocket science, but I know that they shoot rockets into outer space. So it's a thing, and just because I'm not aware of it and the inner workings of it doesn't mean that it's not how things get done. So I reply with, "We've been in business for 21 years. I'm pretty sure I understand the process. And if anybody comes to your house and tries to use direct pressure, tell them to stop immediately and send them away. And then tell all of your friends never to call them again. The driveway is not included in that price. That would be an additional charge. The patio would be included in the $500. Again, sometimes I can be a little harsh, and I don't recommend that this is the approach that everybody take. But again, this kind of goes back to your lead flow, because lead flow directly correlates to how much you can charge and also allows you to determine who you want to work for. And if I feel like somebody's going to be a problem and I don't want to work with them, and honestly, those were the vibes that I was getting, and mostly just because of the need to discuss the job first, and then the And I say that simply because if I want to piss somebody off and I'm questioning their intelligence or their ability or their capability, I might throw the old in there. So if you pick up the same vibes from that, comment the word down below. Regardless, I push send, waited a few seconds, and then I see the bubbles again and again and again. and then they disappeared. So then I started to think and kind of question myself, did I go too far? And most of the time, I do go too far, but as long as you can identify the problem, you can choose to solve the problem if you want to. So in this particular scenario, because I wanted to fill up the calendar, I decided just to give him a call, and this is how it went.
Hello?
Hey, this is Mike with All American.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, did you have any questions?
Yeah, I was just doing some background research on the low pressure versus regular pressure cleaning. We just moved into this house, so it's got a bunch of dirt and grime and other things from previous tenants. The driveway's pretty torqued, as is the back patio and everything.
Right. So concrete is cleaned with high pressure. It's pressure specific. When we say low pressure, that means that we're not going to send some jackleg with high pressure to blast the window seals out of your windows and damage your siding and blow water up in your soffits. That's just the common nomenclature that we use to describe the fact that we're not going to destroy your shit.
Okay, that makes sense.
Gotcha. Yeah. And I've also lived in Southbridge for about 19 years, so I'm very familiar with the area. We've cleaned probably everybody on your street's house before, so we're more than capable of handling the cleaning. And like I said, the driveway would be additional, but it sounds like it needs it, so we can tag that on to the final price.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys can do the driveway as well, that would definitely be helpful.
Yeah.
We've been looking at other services. It seems like everybody's backed up by about a month. So.
Yeah, because it's usually one guy in a pickup that isn't running his business efficiently.
Yeah, makes some sense.
Yeah. But no, we've got multiple crews out running around taking care of stuff, and we actually had an opening, so we can get you in.
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do it.
Perfect. All right, man. Well, I will. I've got all your information. And how is the process of getting the estimate online? Pretty easy?
I have not even looked yet. Did you already send it to me?
Oh, no, you filled out a form. That's how I have all your information.
Oh, yeah, I think my wife filled it out. She was looking at a couple of different services, so she always uses my information, and I find out later.
That's smart. That's when you see the credit card bill and the bank statement.
Yeah,
all right, man. Well,
exactly.
Perfect. We'll get someone out there, and appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much.
Bye. So maybe I was a little harsh in those text messages. I don't know what you think, but maybe I was. But the phone call cleared up any questions. But more importantly, I was able to secure a full day of work in the books and no downtime because of that canceled appointment. And then, of course, he told me that his driveway was pretty much nuked, his words, which opened up the upsell beautifully, which obviously we got. And in fact, he didn't even ask for a price on it because I think he felt comfortable with the fact that we know what we're doing, right? We have credibility. We have been in business for a long time. I established that credibility with him, and I'm able to talk with him in a way that he understands that I am actually an expert in the field, and I know what I'm talking about, and I carry myself with confidence, which reinforces everything that I've been saying to the guy, right? And this is just some basic sales psychology. Like when you walk into a room, own the room, have the confidence, but you also have to have the skill set and the ability to back up and deliver on what you say, right? The major takeaways here: be aware of the things that might be red flags, people that might become problems. And some of those indicators aren't always going to turn out to be red flags or problem customers. But as business owners, we need to be aware. We need to be cognizant. We need to be prepared. And we need to have the weapons in our arsenal that allow us to convey with intelligence to customers the things that we need to convey, as well as setting expectations up front. Positioning in any sales call is really important. And you'll notice some of the ways that I pause and that I just don't say anything, right? All done with intention. And like I mentioned earlier, if you want to have a deep dive into your business, check out our one-on-one training where we go into every aspect of the sales process and how to get customers like this, but also the big commercial properties, the high dollar ticket jobs, not just like this little house wash here. I'm talking about the big commercial jobs where having the knowledge is going to increase your odds in landing those jobs, and it's going to set yourself apart from your competition. And there's a link down below if you're interested. So fill out the form. We'll see if it's a good fit. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all the other stuff that you're supposed to do on YouTube. And we'll see you next time.